Yeah, I could save. This is better because I can share my stuff here. So basically, there's a scam call coming. I think it's mainly across Australia, but it might be more worldwide than what I think it is actually. So basically, it starts off in Australia at least a phone call from a Sydney number. Um, and it's like a basic scam. Well, anyway, it doesn't look like it. It looks like a legitimate like collecting number. Like just say for argument's sake, if a debt collector wants to chase you for some money, they will pursue you on these like burner numbers, so to speak, right? So everyone knows the number. It's one of those numbers that rings you, so you think you owe a debt. So you pick up the number, the call, and a person on the other line from a company they claim is Technomax. And they claim that you have been selected from a lottery amongst all their customers to receive a 30% discount on the phone. Now, they claim that the phone is worth about $999 full price. And they reckon it's a competitor to the iPhone. So I am going to show this company that calls. So I can kind of show you at least how they scam people. Now, this is a company that will call you selling like these rubbish devices, like grey market devices, at like 3-4 times the price that you would normally pay for anything. So if I see if it even works, it's not even. I don't think it's even working. Their links aren't even working. So this is what they're trying to sell: is the Doogie X95. Right now, if you're like me, you've never heard of the Doogie X95, right? They're claiming uh, that this Doogie X95 is valued at $399, right? Well, no, it's not. It's a $60 phone at most. So this website doesn't really want to work. I just want to look at the coding for a second because this is what they're saying this phone is worth. They're saying this phone is worth $399. Their description of this phone is here. They say it's 167 by 77.4 by 8.9. They said high cost perform. So obviously they've added this in, right? Hopefully it's no, that's the way they set it up. It wasn't me. High cost perform 6.517 HD water dro basil less. Expand your so they've cut out here the quad core. That's not actually a feature of this phone. For Cortex A53 1.3 gigahertz, also not a feature of this phone. 720p at 30 frames a second at Meg 4. And it says it's 1080p at 30 frames a second. Right, so they're making a whole bunch of claims here that this device actually doesn't have. Now, how I know this, if I go to here, right, if I go and bring up Amazon just for a second, and I'm just going to share Amazon. It's a 4G smart. So the Doogie is a 4G smartphone. It's a 3 GB plus 16 GB. What that means is that you can increase the memory size by inserting your own, like what do we call it? Like a memory card, basically, it's like a disc, like a little USB stick that fits in your phone. That's basically it's basically a boosting the gigabytes. So it's actually a 3 GB standard. Um, and then here it's got a 256 GB extension. So you can add on a 265 up to 265 GB maximum. It's got a dual SIM and it's an unlocked full screen, 10-watt battery, and it runs on Android 10. It's a 13 MB triple camera. That's for the rear. Right, so if I go to here, apparently it's a 6.52-inch cornering Gorilla Glass HD water drop extreme full screen, purest 90% perfect screen ratio and high resolution. The precise coding process creates a stylish. A 13 MB pixel with a 2 MB plus 2 MB triple rear camera. So that's nothing, right? That is really nothing. If I compare this to a Coles brand camera for a second, so if they still do it, I don't know if they even still do this. So I go to a phone Coles. If I go to a phone at Coles, which they used to sell this. So these are your basic, like, they used to do cheaper phones than this at Coles, actually. But these are your Apple iPhone SE free for $199. But here we'll go. Optus has a $59 at Kmart. This is a Kmart phone for $39, right? And I'm just checking if it's showing, which it's not. I want to share that so you can at least see it. So this is an Optus phone at Kmart for $59. This has 6-inch IPS HD display. It has a 3,000 battery capacity, 3,000 milliband capacity octa-core. This has a RAM of 2 GB plus 2 GB with an extended RAM. It has an internal storage of 64 GB. The front camera is megapixels, I should say. Rear camera is 5 megapixel autofocus. So if we're looking here, this is a 6-inch IPS HD display. The big 6-inch HD display gives you clear, smooth, ultimate focus. A 5 megapixel autofocus main camera. And compare that to the Doogie, which is 13 megapixels for the back. This one has 5 megapixels at 30 frames a second and a 2 megapixel front facing camera for $39. But the Doogie is selling their shit at $249. I'm not shitting you. Like, this is a 13 megapixel triple camera that they're selling for like $300. It's a scam. So just be careful that you can get a similar phone from Kmart or Coles for the price that the Doogie is. They're charging like 7 of these, man. Like, it's ridiculous. Like I'll show you this, $249 for a 13 megapixel triple camera at the rear here. This is a $60 phone. If I go shopping on Google for this phone, and I'll stop sharing this just so I can drive this point home for a little bit here. I'm just going to for a second. Here is the Doogie X95 LCD display touchscreen for $80. Right? Now, this is incredibly shifty, it is. Okay, so I've got okay. So even the Doogie S90 is like $125 is used. The Doogie, look, even this one, X95, they're selling it for $554 here at Technomax. These are not worth that. If I compared the Doogie to the bloody Coles Optus X smartphone, dark, right? I'm just comparing the specs. The Doogie X95. So if I'm comparing the Optus X Smart 5 4G, so if I can bring this up, and I am using ChatGPT because I don't give a shit. I just want to make this point even. So here. All right, so as you can see here, I wanted to make a quick comparison from Optus X Smart 5 smartphone and the Doogie X95 Technomax. The Optus X Smart 5 2 gigabytes of RAM plus virtual RAM entry level ultrasonic processor. The Doogie X95 has 2 gigabytes of RAM, so these are the same. The MediaTek Hello A20 slightly older, but similar tier. Rougher equal, both are very low end. The display Optus X Start 5, which is the 6-inch HD low resolution 576 by 1152. The Doogie X95 is 6.52 inches HD plus 1600 to 720 much sharper, but bigger, clearer screen. The Optus X5 has a 5 megabyte rear to 2 megabyte front. The Doogie X95 has a triple camera 13 megabyte main plus extras and a 5 megabyte front. The winner is Doogie X95, not amazing, but far better. Optus X5 has 3000 milliamps to Doogie's 4.3. There's a big difference. Storage, 64 gigabyte on Optus plus expandable, 16 gigabyte on Doogie, which means Optus wins that one. Software, Optus runs on Android 15 Go edition. It's newer and lightweight, whereas the Optus X is winner. So the Doogie runs on Android 10. So Optus X is built for Australian networks, where the Doogie X95 is an imported phone, so it's a grey market phone. So the final verdict, if Yeah, so basically, they reckon the market value is 999 for the specs. It's a nonsense. Yeah, it's like I said, it's a scam. So just beware. You know, if you need a cheap phone, go to Kmart, get a $59 phone. You know, go to Coles, get a Coles phone. You know, it'll fill in for until you can get a better one. I suppose. Just beware of it.